Hello everyone, rudyxx here to talk about another RPGalooza game, Xenosaga Episode 1. For those of you that don't know, RPGalooza is a project I started involving playing through a huge list of RPG titles ranging from Western style to Japanese. And while I'm not a huge RPG connoisseur, I do like to dabble in them every now and then, so hopefully I can provide for you all a more modern day gamer's look at my experiences with them. So with that out of the way, on to Xenosaga Episode 1. This game was kind of one of those weird games for RPGalooza, where I'd not only played the game before, but I actually used to do speedruns of the game a long time ago, so I kind of went into this game not expecting much. If anything, this was just a nice refresher for me, since I'm so used to skipping all the cutscenes and other things in the game, so my opinion of the game has gotten weird over the years, because I only remember basically just the speedrunning aspect of the game. This is also kind of unfortunate because the speedrun of this game is incredibly awful. You quickly realize that all of the music in the game is in the cutscenes, and that most of the mechanics in the speedrun are just the same thing on loop over and over again. Thankfully, it's really easy to play this game without speedrun strats because they rely entirely on using the robots to do anything. So for a casual playthrough, it's really nice change of pace to not only actually get to hear the music, but play the game with all the different characters outside of the robots. This game is notorious for having some of the most ridiculously long cutscenes, and while it was nice to get to see them all again for the first time in a while, I forgot how much some of them really drag on. The story to this game isn't really all that bad, but I do feel in some ways it hasn't aged really well. Like when this game originally came out, it was a pretty solid story, but over the years and after having played so many other games at this point in my life, it didn't really necessarily feel generic, but it also didn't really feel interesting. It wasn't necessarily bad, but it honestly just felt like world building for the rest of the series, which is fine and well when you're first getting into the series, but as someone that's seen where they're going with the story after having played the other games, it kind of suffered, unfortunately. The gameplay is also kind of weird to me after having played the other games. As someone that's really not a fan of turn-based battle systems, it was kind of a chore for me to get through it at times. I think it's a combat system that's actually really well done, and anyone newly getting into the whole thing would probably love it. But it didn't really vibe with me all that well. I found myself just getting bored more often than I'd have liked, so for RPGalooza, I decided to give it a score of 5 out of 10. Like, it definitely wasn't a terrible experience, but it was incredibly average and boring for me overall, and I think a lot of this has contributed to the fact that I have both played and speedrun every game in the series at this point in my life. And even though parts 2 and 3 are on the RPGalooza list, I think after playing this one again, I am way less likely to replay and review either of those games for RPGalooza, as I have a feeling they will probably turn out the same way. I do think that overall, Xenosaga is not necessarily a bad game, and anyone that is just getting into the series will probably have a great time, but it's definitely one that, for me, has not exactly aged very well. But anyways, that's it for Xenosaga for today. I hope at the very least you enjoyed hearing about my experience with the game, and if you enjoyed this video at all and would like to look forward to many more RPG reviews in the future, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And if you're interested in seeing me actually play through a variety of games in real time, make sure you follow my Twitch stream at twitch.tv/rudyxx. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.